There's Anne. Good morning, Anne.
Good morning. I might be the only one.
You are the only one. How's that?
I'm special. I'm special.
That's nice.
Here, you get off my mat.
Oh, wow, just like
And
that.
this is your mat.
Oh my, yeah, let's play musical chairs or not.
There you go.
Nice.
Okay, now we're ready.
Now that we have all the furniture rearranged, let's get started with class. All right, Sunday Fun Day is underway. Today, to get started, we're gonna come to the front part of our mat, take a big walk all the way down there. We're gonna bring our feet together. I'm gonna keep the heels together as we step the toes out. And then I'm gonna ask you to try to draw up and draw in the knees. And then the same thing with your belly. Let's pull the shoulders up to the ears. Let's take our fingers, spread them widely, and then draw the thumbs, so the palms face back, draw the thumbs in, and make an effort to use the fingers to pull the arms long and see if your shoulder blades shoulders descend down the body. Now, with that descent, we're now going to flip the script on the hands. So we're going to open palms, baby fingers facing forward, draw the upper arms into the chest or the rib cage, and then continue to spiral the thumbs backwards. Take a couple breaths here. And if you can, try to imagine you're pushing down through the heels, straightening out through the knees, pulling up now with the shoulders, hollowing out the belly, and letting the arms sweep backwards to feel a nice opening through the chest. Big breath in, and as you exhale it, let the arms sweep up to the sky. As you exhale, let's lower the arms shoulder height, and then rotate the palms to face the earth. We're going to keep the arms about shoulder width. We're going to draw back the hips as we keep the legs still connected. I'd like you to reach forward with the hands and let everything around the shoulders kind of shift forward. And then draw back the shoulder blades, open the palms to face, and then raise the arms nice and high. As you exhale, I'd like you to fold it down, chopping through the hips. At a certain point where it's appropriate for spinal flexion, let it go there. As you inhale, extend to a flat back. As you exhale, lower. And do that for a couple more repetitions. Let's hold the back in extension and draw the weight back into the heel of each foot. As you release the next breath, let the upper body just flex down and hold on this for a couple more breaths. This warming up process takes a while, and as we begin to experience some blood flow and increased mobility, I'd like you to kind of govern yourself and explore the range of motion where it feels appropriate for your body today. As you inhale, extend to a flat back. As you exhale, flex it back down. And Pilates style now, start to roll it all the way up. And it becomes a stand. Bend through the elbows, pull them backwards and open the palms to face the sky. Let's give those elbows a little bit of a squeeze together. And while you keep those elbows squeezing together, I'd like you to kind of rotate the forearms backwards. Big breath in. As you exhale, let's push those hands all the way out to the side. As you inhale, sweep up to salute the sun. As you exhale, let's step the feet so that the heels and toes have a straight forward line. As you release your breath, let the upper body fold down. Inhale, extend to a flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, extend. Exhale, fold. Inhale, extend, hold the extension. Draw the weight back to give as much weight bearing to the heels and walk your fingers forward. Let's straighten the legs a little more, just a slight more if you can. As you release the breath, let the upper body fold, and then plant the hands and step your feet back into plank.
Houston's favorite thing, push-up positions. Now, let's bring the knees down to the earth, keep the toes tucked, and draw the hips back towards the heels as the arms extend forward into a modified child's pose. Right now, the points of contact are knees, tucked under toes, and palms of hand. Let's let the palms walk forward just slightly more. Now try to extend with the neck, but push the chest closer to the earth. As you inhale, let's step the hands back underneath the shoulders. Keep those fingers separated nice and widely, but bring them, the palms, out to the edges of the mat. So you have a nice wide girth across the shoulders. And we're going to basically lower up and down and into the arms. To do so, I'd like you to spiral the elbows inwardly and then lower the torso in and push it back up. So it's modified push-up basically. As we lower and raise, I like to try to keep the elbows from bending. So we're just articulating and moving our shoulder blades inwardly and outwardly. As we warm up those muscles, I'd like you to hold up now. Feel a nice stretch by adding the arch of your back into this. And take your pubis and kind of tuck it under. Give me as much maximal arching as you can. Let the head just relax. You can shake it from side to side. On the next inhale, flip the tailbone and back of the head to the sky. Let the chest descend in between the arms as you spiral elbows inwardly. While we hold here, I'd like you to hollow out the belly. Try to pull it up and into the spine. Now keep that muscle activation. Keep pulling up and in as you bring flexion back into the spine. So you feel a nice, taut tummy arching through the back. Neck is relaxed, head dangling, elbows spiraling internally. We still have our toes tucked under. I'd like you to float the knees up off the earth and then straighten out the back. And then lift your hips up to the sky, drive your heels to the earth or earthward. They may not get there, but give it an effort. Keep that neck relaxed and shake from left to right the head. And calm that as you walk your hands back towards your feet. As you bring straightness to the legs, give me as much as you can. Take the ball of each big toe, push it into the mat, and separate the toes as widely apart as you can. As you inhale, extend to a flat back. As you exhale, let the spine go to flexion. As you inhale, extend. Hold the extension, draw the weight back to the heel of the foot, but keep the pronounced push of the ball of the big toe of each foot. Exhale, fold. Pilates style, rise up.
Salute the sun. Good morning, people. Hands drop over hearts. Take that right foot, step it forward. We're up on the toes of the back foot with the heel aiming skyward, not one side or the other. I hate when people do that, but it's kind of our inherent nature by what's tight. And we want to direct energy skyward today. As we lean in, it's chopping through the right hip. And I'd like you to take the ball of that right big toe, push it to the mat as you bring straightness to that front leg. Lean in a little more. If you're ready for some additional effort here, extend the arms forward. And if you're not, you can just keep hands over heart. Take the right hand, raise it, and lower, and alternate side to side. There's a little bit of rotational stabilization here. We're off putting some of the weight. I'd like you to kind of control the balance. Both lower shoulder height, both raise, and we come back to our traditional woodpecker, drawing back. Now, as we draw back, we're going to hold back and describe the movement slightly and quickly We're rotating the palms externally, opening as we sweep back. And as we sweep forward, we rotate them internally and raise. Now, continue on this pattern for a few breaths, nice and slow. If you're feeling any burning in that right hip, good stuff. I feel it. On the next reach up, step back foot forward and bring hands back over heart. Good stuff. Are we enjoying ourselves so far? Take the right foot, step it back. We're up on the toes, heel aiming skyward. Right leg, take the ball of the big toe, push it to the mat and bring straightness to that front leg. As we lean in, spine long, nice and long, right? Chip chopping through the hip. Try to keep that front leg as straight as you can today. Let's reach it forward, adding some elements of more challenge here. Alternate left and right hand. Remember not to bend through the elbow. It's kind of like you're pulling with the fingers and simply raising and lowering the arms that are long, challenging our balance and stabilization. Let's bring both down side by side and raise and sweep back. And continue on this pattern for a few thousand repetitions. Just see if you're paying attention. Nice and slow, articulating the palms in and out. Is someone popping over there? What? I thought you were mom and I was pop. Bad joke. You said it's a bad joke. Hands sweep forward, back foot steps forward, hands come over. I guess you're done with this exercise.
I'm turning to see him.
Oh, this AC time. We got a little heat going on. All right, while we hold here, we're going to separate the fingers nice and widely. We're going to take our fingers and rotate them internally and elevate. Oh, Kirsten's favorite pose. Now, this nice orientation of lift. I like you to rotate the elbows up, but also draw in the belly and proud out the chest. So there's a lot going on. Make sure the neck is nice and relaxed. I find myself often tensing things and I go, oh, remind people not to do that. Now push the palms together, lift the elbows a little higher, proud out the chest a little more, and give me a big six-pack activation. Hold and breathe in and out. And on the next breath, hands push to the sky. Fold it all the way down, take it down to the mat. Oh, how's that for warm up? All that warm up, and now we get to drink. Cheers, everybody. A little water. All right, to keep things moving along, we're going to bring our left thigh, align it with that left side, and we come to our 90-90 exercise. Right leg's going to sweep back. Some more of the traditional version of this exercise. I'd like you to come down onto the forearm on the left side. I'm going to take the nice elongation of the spine. We're going to reach the hands straight forward, palm facing to the earth. Now, if you've sunk into the shoulder, I'd like you to be actively pushing up and actively drawing back the shoulder. So you're pulling as you push. Sweep that right hand up and all the way back. So it's kind of like the motion of the sun transversing the United States of America, going up in the east, going down in the west. Have to work on that analogy a little bit. Sweeping up and back, and touch the fingers out in front, and sweep it all the way back. And rotate the shoulders. Make sure you're not falling into that left shoulder. Sweeping all the way back. And one more time, as we lower and raise, hold up, descend that right hand, and then take the left palm and post it into the earth. So we have an upright position, and we're going to begin to flip from side to side. So I'd like you to kind of use the arms to help stabilize, rotate through, side to side. And continue on this motion for a few repetitions, nice and slow. Readjust the legs if you need to. If you can hold 90-90, that's great. And if you can't, do your best version of it. Don't worry if the knees don't get to the earth. It's all about the movement through the hips. These are really small muscles incorporated with the big muscles that help us to kind of gain a little bit of mobility. Oops. And on the next repetition, let's sweep that right leg through and set up for the opposite side. Ooh, baby. All right, down onto the forearm. Left hand reaches forward. We're going to start it right off on the floor, and we're going to sweep up and back. And continue on this for some repetitions. One of the things you may notice is your arm may be moving, but make it a torso-related event where that shoulder actually rotates externally and then rotates internally. So forward internally, backward externally, arching that hand. So we're not bending with elbow, we're keeping that arm nice and long as it reaches from end to end. On the next repetition, sweep it all the way back and come up and post that right palm and begin to flip the script 90-90s. Oh, you playing footsie with me? No. Oh, nice. No, it was gross. Not only does it look awkward, it feels awkward. But this is such a great exercise for providing some normalcy of length to these muscles that are the inner and external operators of your hip. And get those little muscles full of blood because they're actually being used, as opposed to being squished to death by sitting on it. Abused. Used and abused. All right, let's move it forward, bring that left leg forward, come all the way with the feet forward. I'm going to have a nice long leg as we come into staff pose. I'd like you to bring your hands out in front. If we walk the fingers forward, I'd like you to keep the spine long to start. Now, when we get to the spot where we can't go any further with spinal extension, I want you to hold on that. And then we're going to use the palms, the base of them, to wrap the toes and pull the feet in towards the shins. Now, there's something I want you to be aware of. I want you to avoid using the shin muscles to pull. I just want you to use the arms so the shins are relaxed. Give it a little more pull. This is a good opportunity to bend the elbows and pull with the arms to get as much of a pull through the bottom of the foot, the plantaris region. That's what most people are familiar with, plantaris fasciitis. It's a good little stretch, not only for those ligaments, well, sorry, not ligaments, the muscles and tendons of the foot, but it also helps to use the ligaments to stabilize those joints. So it's a good little stretch / exercise. Now, in the next breath, as you release it, let the spine go to flexion, but keep the pull on those feet to feel really nice and tense stretch through that back part of the leg. Let's bring extension back to the back, and then Pilates style. Lower it down. Oh my goodness, there we go, folks. Now, when you arrive upon the earth, I'd like you to bring both knees up and into the chest. we're gonna bring things together, because that's what we do. We're gonna bring the ball of each big toe, or the side of the foot, and ankle and thighs together. So I'd like you to kind of use a little bit of arm to kind of give a little push if it's not there, and if it is there, great. I want you to hold in this, and I'd like you to squeeze the thighs together. And I want you to hold the squeeze of the thighs and let the arms relax. As the thighs continue to squeeze together, I'd like you to point the toes downward and keep the thighs squeezing as you lower the tips of the toes to the mat to touch. Keep the thighs squeezing as you pull the knees all the way up and as far in as you can get. Bring the forehead up to meet them and then lower back down the head and the toes. So let's do that again. Squeeze, head to knees. Got a little rhyming going on. Slight touch and lift it back up. Make that extra effort to get those squeeze and those knees up as high as you can. And we're going to do one more repetition. We're going to hold on this, wrap the hands around the knees, bring the forehead as close to the knees as you can, and then lower down. Extend that left leg, keep the right foot close to the butt, flat to the floor, as you bring the hands up and then all the way back for a nice stretch along that left anterior or front body. Pull along with the fingers, make it all as long as you can. And then take your hands straight up above your chest. And Pilates style, come on up. And dive towards the feet. Now that leg, that thigh is going to be in the way. That's fine. I want you to try to get to it if you can. And then Pilates style, we come back down. And lengthen it out. And come back to this again. And lower. And raise. Oh my goodness, it gets more enjoyable every time you do it. And lower. And extend those arms back, switch up the legs. Get back to this exercise, coming back up. You might notice on one side, now that the rectus abdominis are fatiguing, it may be a little more challenging, but it's sometimes just because of distribution of strength, neuromuscular strength, that we find one side more challenging more than the other. On the next rep, slowly bring it up and slowly come back down. Oops, that almost was a fall. Extend both legs all the way out. Toes point, arms reach all the way back. Fill the lungs with air. And let's step the feet in, but this time we're going to bring the base of the feet together with the legs bent. It's pretty much the only way you can get your feet together. The bottoms of the feet touching, and we let the legs kind of splay open. I'd like you to rock back and forth from side to side for a few repetitions. All right, now bring both thighs together. And once again, we're back with both feet and thighs having a touch point. Let's reach the arms forward, drop the chin into the chest, and begin to start what's called a crunch. I don't want you to come all the way up. I just want to maintain that crunch type position. And we're going to
engage our transverse abdominis. Now, I've used this little practice of coughing. I'd like you to give me a little cough in this position. And then once you kind of figure or feel those muscles that are active, I'd like you to kind of pull those muscles, if you can, as best you can into the spine. And then try to raise up a little higher. In other words, we're just hollowing out the belly now. Using the baby fingers as a pivot, I'd like you to open up the palms. And then reach up a little higher. Take a break if it's challenging on the neck. If you can, just hold. And then lower back down. And extend the legs all the way out. Point the toes. Pull with the fingers and toes opposite direction as you inhale. And as you exhale, bring the knees up and into the chest and rock and roll back up to a seated position. Let's sweep those legs behind us as we come up onto all fours. Separate the hands, knees, and toes that are tucked under to the width of your mat. Let's take the spinal column and begin to flex the upper back. Let the head descend towards the earth. Let's draw the hips back towards the heels. And then slowly move it forward. Bring the spine to extension. Pull the back of the head and skyward and do the same. Flip that tailbone to the sky. Pull forward a little more, and as you forward pull the body, hollow out the belly. Now keep that belly hollowing out as you bring flexion back to the spine, tailbone or pubis tucking under, and tailbone drifting back towards the heels of the foot. And then sweeping forward, spine extension, tailbone back and head to the sky, and belly pulls up and into the spinal column. Sweep it forward. See if you can get the shoulders slightly forward of the wrists. Keep the belly pulling in as you tuck the pubis under. Let the head descend as the spine flexes and draw the hips backwards. Push with the arms, get them nice and straight. Rotate the elbows internally. Sweep it forward, proud of the chest. Tailbone and back of head, belly pulls up. Come forward a little more if you can. And then keep the belly sucking in. Sweep it backwards as you bring all of the other stuff we talked about earlier along for the ride. As we come back to all fours, float the knees, lift the hips, drive the heels, and walk the hands. Find balance of weight between front and back of foot. Inhale, extend to a flat back. Keep the back in extension as you step your feet out to the edges of the mat. Open the toes away. Straighten the legs. Draw the knees straight. Keep that spine extension. Take the right hand, sweep it sideways and upwards. And then lower and switch. Oops. Sorry about that's not that hair. Alternate from side to side. Very important here to keep the legs straight, almost like you're snapping your knees backwards. All right, let's calm it. Step the toes straight forward. The spine in flexion, Pilates style, up we come. Draw the shoulders up to the ears. Nice. Open the palms face forward. Draw the elbows backwards. I'm going to step off that wall a little bit. Now, let's take the heels and open them so we have an inward orientation of the toes. As we pull elbows back, keep the palms open, facing forward. Fingers separated nice and widely. Now, flip the fingers down, open, or sorry, close the wrists, open the wrists. Close and open.
Ooh,
Wow.
scared me.
Yeah, no kidding.
From.
bowling front. All right, now let's hold the wrists in an open position. Draw the elbows back, squeeze them together, and then open up the forearms. And close. Bring them in to touch the belly, open them wide. Inwardly rotating, externally rotating. Few more repetitions. Nice. Now, on the next repetition, hold open, extend all the way out. Palms are open wide. Rotate the thumbs backwards and downwards. Bring the arms to the sky and baby fingers to touch. Keep the baby finger, palms open backwards as we open all the way back. Keep the arms long. Try to mitigate any bend in the elbows. Pull long, big arching. All the way up. All the way back down. Hold. Flip the palms. Aim the thumbs downward. And then begin to spiral them backwards. This is inward rotation through our shoulder capsule. Probably feels a lot better than the other option. Now I'd like you to rotate the shoulders internally and then rotate the shoulders externally, flip the palms and bring it all the way back. So it's just a range of motion exercise. Internal rotation generally feels better for most because that's typically what we do during the day. The external rotation probably feels like it's an effort. And that's where our exercise lies. So I'd like you to flip it all the way back, open up, proud the chest, keep that neck humble, let it not get all stressed out. And do this for a couple more repetitions.
Maybe you can just say reps.
Or reps. Now, hold it up, sweep it up to salute the sun, pull it down and come down onto the mats. Oh, my goodness. Up, down, down, up. Can you make up our mind, folks? I don't know. I'm grabbing some water. This is a tricky way of getting a drink of water. Cheers. All right. Got some exercises to do on the floor. My goodness. I'm all choked up. And come all the way down onto our backside. Now, we're very familiar with this exercise, but I love doing it. We have the legs extended to a high degree, very obtuse angle through the knees. We're going to bring flexion to the feet. This time we get to use those anterior tibialis muscles, those shin muscles. I like you now to do a little bit of pelvic rocking. I like you kind of roll up onto your tailbone and then rock back so you can kind of get a little bit of sensation as best as you can. That low back. And while we keep the feet flexed, we're going to keep that low back sensation, low back skin that is, as we open. So we're just using the heels as a hinge. See if you can open and get the side of your feet touching the mat. It's just a gauge of where to go, or if you can do that, but it's not a requirement. I'd like you just to give me a best effort at it. So we practice internal and external rotation through the hips. See it today, it feels a little better from our prior exercise when we did those 90-90 walks, right? That's what this is for, to increase the mobility through the hips. Now, we rotate internally this time, bring the toes to touch. More importantly now, is I'd like you to kind of squeeze your thighs together. Might be the knees that feel like they have pressure, whatever it is, just give it to me as best you can. I'm going to hold on this. Right now, I have my hands on belly. So I'm going to ask you to cough again. And once you've done that, to get that muscle, you can feel it under the palms or in the palms of the hand. So I can do it again, cough. And now that you've got those muscles targeted, I'd like you to lock them down. I'd like you to kind of make it like I'm going to drop a bowling ball on your belly. So you have a nice, actively engaged belly, or the muscles of any bed. As you hold on that, let's bring the arms down with the fingertips touching the earth, and let's proud out the chest. Prouding out the chest is another way for saying flatten out the shoulder blades. It's kind of what happens when we do that. Now with the fingertips pushing to the mat, I'd like you to bring the elbows
and rotate them towards the earth. And don't spiral off of the fingers. Keep them connected, the tips connected. Now, while the thighs continue to squeeze, if you're exhibiting any trembling, that's good. Those are muscles we want to be working right now. And that's simply the muscle's way of getting more oxygen to them. Blood flow, water. Hold on that squeeze as you begin to push your heels into the mat and try to create elevation of your butt up off the earth. Keep the chest proud. We're going to hold on this for a couple of seconds and then slowly lower down and extend arms and legs opposite direction. Fill the lungs with air. Make sure you're not pushing your ribs up and into the air. Try to keep everything connected to your mat as best you can. And then let's step the heels back in ever so slightly. Bring flexion back to the feet. Bring internal rotation to those legs. And keep the flexion. Very key here. We want those anterior tibialis muscles actively working so that we can have a good emphasis on our hammies and our glutes. So as we hold that, cough. Flatten at the back, extend the arms, fingertips touch the earth. Elbows rotate down towards the earth as we pressurize the fingertips. Begin to create the elevation effect. In many cases, we start to compensate by extending the toes out and away from the body. I'd like you to keep the feet flexing as best you can and keep those thighs squeezing as best you can and lower down and extend it out. We're only doing this exercise twice, so consider it done. Let's take the hands up above the chest, drop the chin into the chest, and Pilates style, let's roll it up nicely and extend down and dive those hands between the feet and enjoy a nice stretch all the way down to that thoracolumbar fascia, that low back area. Let's turn the palms to face your earth so that the fingertips can walk forward a little more. As you inhale, extend to a flat back and walk those hands back in towards your body into staff pose and bring hands up over heart. Nice. Now, just going to hold on this for a couple seconds. As we begin to re-engage here, I'd like you to take your chest and push it forward. Draw the shoulders up to the ears, but keep those palms together. And then we're going to rotate internally the fingertips and elevate the shoulders and give me a nice proud chest. If you have tension through the neck, relax. Put the elbows a little higher. Try to push the fingertips into the chest plate as you elevate the elbows a little higher, proud of the chest. And as you release the next breath, extend the arms forward, drop your chin into your chest, and from the tailbone, vertebrae by vertebrae, all the way up to the top of the spine. Pilates style it down, sweep the hands all the way back, point the toes. Bring the knees up and into the chest, forehead up to meet knees, and rock and roll up to a seated position. Let's once again sweep those legs back and come up onto all fours. Let's separate to the edges of the mat, hands, knees, and feet. Take the right hand and reach it forward. Palm is facing the center line with nice, widely spread fingers. Let's take that upper body, and I want you to avoid any sway from side to side as we push up with the left arm and then lower the torso down into the arm. So we have that left elbow spiraling inward. This is a little more intensification of this because we don't have two arms doing the exercise. We have one arm doing the exercise. Shoulders are square, lower up and down for a couple more repetitions, and then switch arms. As we reach forward, begin the exercise. Make sure that elbow isn't opening up and bending. Spiral it inwardly, keep that muscle active. We don't want to stack the joint. Let's lower the left. Raise the knees, float the hips upward and backward. And let's step the feet in so we can get heels as best we can on or as close to the earth as we can in our short stance down dog. Roll the spinal column. Imagine there's a string pulling at the top of the head, kind of snapping that spinal column nice and straight. Use the arms to push. Keep the tension out of the neck. Keep the heels driving to the earth. While they drive earthward, try to spiral them off the center line of the body. Snap those knees back a little more. And then walk the hands back towards the feet. Inhale, extend to a flat back. Exhale, fold. Reverse swan dive all the way up.
Nice. Salute the sun. Beautiful. Relax as we step sideways to the mat. Relax. Chill. You chill? Nice. Now, I'm gonna bring a nice wide stance, whatever's comfortable for you. And now we're gonna kind of do what people like to do, which is basically shift from side to side. So I like you to kind of move the hips in a straight line from one side to the other. Feel like I should have a hula hoop for some reason. I don't know why. All right, so let's hold it in the left push side so that the inner thigh of the right side feels that nice pull. I like to keep both legs long and the same with the torso. We grow nice and tall. Take the left hand, so the left hip is pushing. Take the left hand or the back hand, sweep it up to the sky. Draw the arm long with the fingers, but let the arm sweep in towards the ear. And then switch up sides. Slowly transition as you push out the opposite side. Hold on this for a couple seconds. And once again, check in. We didn't do this first time around, but if you're internally rotated with the shoulder, externally rotated, open the palm to face away. Now, fingers pull arm long and arm sweeps up and towards the ear. Keep the spinal column nice and long. See if you can chop through that left hip without flexing through the spine. And get a little more depth. And then as you release, come back up. It's a nice stretch. Let's step it face forward. Sweep the arms to the sky as you inhale, extend. And salute the sun. Exhale, fold. Inhale, extend. Exhale, fold. Sweep back your butt. Give as much weight to the heels. Straighten through the knees. Push the ball of each big toe into the mat. Inhale, extend to a flat back. Exhale, fold. Bring hand to opposite elbow and hang out for a breath or two. Float on the feet. Float forward, back, side to side. And then find some balance of weight between your left and right foot and the front and back thereof. And when you have it, palms step onto the shin. Both knees bend. Spine goes to extension. Palms push to the shin. Chest becomes proud. Long string pulling from the base of the spine out through the top of the head pulls the spinal column long. Sweep the arms forward, rotate the palms to base. Slowly power it up and salute the sun. Big breath in. As you exhale, let the hands descend over heart. So I can thank you for joining us today.
Thank you.
Namaste.
Namaste.
Oh.
Good job, honey.
Well, thank you. Good morning, Anne.
You did it.